Hi, beautiful people. Hope you're doing well out there. I'm happy you're here tonight with us. And today I'll share another important astrology update with you guys. And we're going to talk about the new moon in Sagittarius. And we're going to look at each of the 12 signs to see how this will impact you. So, welcome back to my channel. My name is Astrid. I am a Western astrologer. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for joining. So, hi, Maria. Glad you're here with us. I'm gonna start with showing my screen. So, we're having a new moon in the sign of Sagittarius. And new moons are always about new beginnings, new seeds that can be planted right now. But they take up to 6 months to fully blossom whenever we have the full moon in Sagittarius. And then we can complete this new cycle. So if we look at the new moon, it's like in Sagittarius, that's like expansion. It's a fire sign. It's also a mutable sign, so it's very changeable, adaptable, and it is like optimism gets expanded right now. Even though we will have some squares to Saturn as well, especially with the Mercury retrograde that is happening as well right now. So things could feel like a little bit stuck. That feeling could get a little bit expanded over the next couple of weeks, but I do enjoy like new moon in Sagittarius because it is such a lovely sign. So if we check at the chart of the new moon, we can see that it is happening at the 9th degree. And the 9th degree is actually a Sagittarius degree. So we're having a new moon in Sag on a Sag degree. So things get even more expanded. And it's very important for all the Sages, the Gemini, the Virgo, and the Pisces, because you are all mutable signs. So you will feel this new moon in a very strong way. And Sagittarius is actually about higher wisdom. It's about philosophy, religion, spirituality. It also governs long distance travel, universal wisdom. It's about growth, about self development. And because we are having a Mercury retrograde in the same sign of our new moon, all these things need some rethinking or revisiting in the next couple of weeks. So invest and plant seeds in a very, very wise way, because we are dealing with some more destructive forces at the moment. So make sure you invest in a very, very wise way over the next couple of weeks. And also with this Mercury retrograde, be sure to keep like an open mind, because we will face like a very big renewal and introspection in regards to our belief system, which is also governed by Sagittarius and Jupiter. So Sagittarius is like the centaur, and it symbolizes the development of the human soul. It's like half man, half horse, and it's about to free, to like attempt to free your man's animal nature. It's like about releasing that last part of it, and it's about spiritual aspirations. So Sagittarius, they are like very, very adventurous, very brave, also very wise, but like, you know, every sign has its pros and its cons. So an unbalanced Sag can be like a bit too confident in their opinion, or they like to like over expand or overindulge in things. So that's something that we need to be mindful about in the next couple of weeks. And of course, the dispositor of this new moon, so its ruler is Jupiter, and we can see an opposition with Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. It's been there since June this year, and it will stay there until June next year. So Jupiter is mostly associated with the principles of growth, expansion, prosperity, good fortune. It's also about higher education, long distance travel, faith, religion, your ideals. But it also represents the law and our court system. And what else do we got? It also rules the future and your self-development. So on a more mundane level, so for the whole world, whenever Jupiter is retrograde, can be a little bit more difficult because Jupiter is the god of justice and wisdom. So there can be some things revealed right now connected to justice, fairness, and our law system. And the truth is going to come out in Gemini, in a Gemini way, because it's like in Gemini. And Gemini is actually the sign of duality. We have like the two persons next to each other in the sign. And it rules over communication, over speaking, over writing. It's about information, social media, blogs, websites. And Mercury, that's making opposition to it, it's also about like technological devices. So traditionally, Mercury belongs to Gemini and Jupiter belongs to Sagittarius. So we have like a big opposition and like mutual reception. And if you want to know more about that, I did like a deep dive in my Mercury retrograde video. So it's very important to go watch it if you haven't seen it, because it tells us a lot about our current state of mind. So Mercury is almost conjunct this new moon, like it's in the same degree. So, but because it's retrograde, we will need to revisit a lot of things and a lot of insights that are gonna surface during this new moon. So with Jupiter, these new insights get expanded, but they need to be reviewed due to the Mercury retrograde. So we can see like an expansion in communication, miscommunications that are being like blown out of proportion. But this will like reinforce us for like searching the truth within to stimulate self-development. And it's gonna want to add more adventure to our lives. So it's like very good for like exploring new horizons and to like rethink and revisit and like implement new ways of thinking. So with this Mercury opposite Jupiter in the sign of this new moon as well, it's like be a little bit careful about your thinking process. Some may be very convinced that they're totally right in their beliefs and that they already have all the answers, and also be very mindful about listening towards each other. And some very strong views and opinions can like clash a little bit under this energy. So with this new moon, we can feel like we're like in an information overload. And a lot of that can be disinformation as well. So we could also feel like we're like a little bit burdened because we have too much information. So if you expand your view, do it with caution right now and like really think things through. And if you like see new pieces or like have new insights, be very cautious about expanding your view too quickly and like really think things through, and like don't change your mind too quickly as well when you like receive new information. And there can be like some relevation and communication with others happening right now. So yes, very big insights, really expanding our belief system, but make time for big evaluations. So, and because we have a new moon in the same sign of our Mercury retrograde, we will need to keep our eye on like two important dates, because on the 10th of December and the 22nd of December, Mercury will hit its 9th degree in Sag, so where this new moon is happening right now. But on the 10th, it's like still turning backwards, so it's still retrograde. But on the 22nd, Mercury will be direct, again hitting the 9th degree of this Sag new moon. We will then have like a better understanding about some blocks or about some mistakes, or we will have a better notion about reviewing things that we had to do like during the backward motion. So things could feel like they become a little bit more clear by then. But on the 28th of December, we will have to deal with another delay because we can see that this new moon and also Mercury is squaring Saturn. So then it will be like a very good time to correct past mistakes around the 28th of December. But they will like need some time. Saturn asks time. So moving through obstacles, getting like through blockages, and we might overcome challenges better after this is passed. So we will probably by then like adjusted our mindset or our belief system, and the last square to Saturn will add some more realisticness to our mind or to our views. Because yeah, the square with the new moon and Saturn, like it's about dreaming big, Sagittarius, but also making that realistic, Saturn. And what you think that is totally right can be clashing with the current reality of things. So new visions that we want to implement right now are maybe not totally realistic just yet. So, and also this like information overload is not really adding to our practical meaning in life right now. So if you feel this tension, this will most likely manifest in like tension between freedom and structure or strictness, Saturn. Tension between adventure, Sagittarius, and being grounded, Saturn. And some tension between some truths coming out and them being like totally realistic. So a T-square can be like a little bit of a blind spot in our belief system. So, and also like a blind spot in our current reality. So give yourself some time to figure things out, and know that during a Mercury retrograde in the new, in the same sign of this new moon, not everything will go according to plan. So if you feel a little bit stuck, just know that it can be because of the square to Saturn. But the positive news is that we do have a trine to Mars. So we have a little fire trine, and actually big fire trine with the moon, with Mars, and with the North Node. They're all in a fire sign. So actually very, very good news for all the fire signs. And for everyone, it's like last chance to take action, to complete some things, to like get some things before Mars prepares to go retrograde on the 6th of December. Because Mars is already slowing down, you can already like start feeling the effects. So if there's something you still want to do, now is a good time, because whenever Mars goes retrograde, it's not the best time to like really launch big new projects that really need a lot of your energy, Mars. And yeah, with the Mercury retrograde, with the Mars retrograde, it will take more time to fully develop your plans, or like for plans to go through, or your actions will need some more time to like fully develop, because of the square to Saturn. So really take your time. Then what do we also see in the chart is like Venus well conjoined Pluto soon, but right now it's like making a trine to Uranus. And we just had like a full moon in Taurus on top of Uranus. So it's like highlighting some energy of what was going on then. So if we have a Venus trine Uranus, it's about our money, finances, wealth, currencies, digitalization. So we already saw like a very, very big shift in the digital currencies and everything in Bitcoin. And that has to do with the full moon we just had in Taurus. So in the video of my full moon in Taurus, I like highlighted that it would be triggering the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that we had by the end of April. We just had it this year. It was very, very important. And that happened on the 22nd degree of Taurus. And the full moon in Taurus that we just had was really, really close to that point. And I said like some energy will get triggered from April. And what did we see in April this year? That was like a lot of farmer protests, and like now they're back under this influence. The UK and in France has seen new big farmer protests. And that's because of Taurus, because Taurus deals with food and agriculture. And these protests they are here to stay, definitely until the new moon in Taurus that we're going to have on the 27th of April, because the new moon in Taurus will make a very, very bad or like an adverse aspect to our final Pluto-Mars opposition. And I've like talked a lot already about the Pluto-Mars opposition. And if you haven't seen that, you can watch that in my new moon and Scorpio video, because this aspect will influence us until April. So the Mars-Pluto opposition was exact in November. We will have it exact again in the beginning of January. And the last final big hit of these two very intense planets in opposition, that will happen by the end of April. And it will conjoin with the new moon in Taurus. So it's like Mars is our individual power, and Pluto is actually people in a position of power. So I guess the new moon in Taurus in April is gonna like trigger a lot of revolutionary energy. People will like really revolt against control system that are like being forced on us, and it's like something that's already very, very noticeable right now. And yeah, things are gonna like get more intense, and I wish I could share like more positive news. But on the 6th of December, Mars goes retrograde. So whenever we have a retrograde, the planet is closer to Earth, which means that the symbolism gets magnified, and that will happen until the end of February. And Mars is violence, war, aggression, our inner drive, ambition, motivation. So yeah, and like a lot of people think Mars retrograde will only be noticeable until the end of February, but actually it needs to move through its post-shadow phase, and that will be like, it will take like 6 up to 7 months until we're like out of that energy. So yeah, definitely war expanding, violence expanding, but luckily we have like a good trine from this new moon, so I hope things will calm down a bit before they like really explode. So I'm actually wondering, like, how are you feeling and how are you doing with this energy right now? Because like these are some intense things that are happening right now. And like with this Mercury retrograde, I do feel like my mind is so buzzing. I feel like all over the place. I'm like sometimes confused and then seeing things clear, and it's like really up and down. So I'm like wondering, how are you guys doing? I'm of course a Virgo rising, so Mercury is my chart ruler. I'm always very influenced by this, by the retrogrades, but I'm wondering, how are you doing with this? So we'll then quickly go over the US SIBLY, because in the US they have like this new moon conjunct the rising sign. Conjunct their rising, so it's like a new beginning. And the rising sign is about your first impression people get from you. It's like how you express your identity. It's like your first layer that people notice about you. So this new moon on the rising could indicate like a new identity for the US. And I think with this moon, feminine energy or a significant women or women in general could play like a very, very significant role in the upcoming month for the US. So I'm curious how that will unfold. And maybe the nation will display more characteristics connected to the moon, or it could become more moody with the square to Saturn in the 3rd house of communication. So, and Mercury retrograde is like gonna go over the rising sign for the US as well. You can like see it's just outside of the red circle. There we have Mercury retrograde happening for America. And Mercury will go back to its 6th degree. And by January the 3rd, it will be out of post-shadow periods. So from the end of December until the beginning of January, there's going to be some big news coming out. But first, America needs to like review their contracts, their agreements, review past communication issues, and they will need to make like a lot of adjustments. And a lot of that will be happening behind the scenes because Mercury goes all the way back into the 12th house, and the 12th house is very private, it's very hidden, it's behind the scenes. In a natal chart, it rules dreams, subconscious, sleep, but also spirituality. But the 12th house also rules final endings. So I think some contracts will end, and a lot of negotiations behind the scenes will like mark some kind of new beginning. And we will hear about them whenever Mercury enters the first house again and comes like out of hiding, out of the 12th house. And this will happen on Christmas Eve. So the 25th, Mercury comes out of the 12th house, shows itself to the world, takes all the decisions that were made behind the scenes in a more public way. So I think from Christmas until the beginning of January, we can expect some important news. And we also need to be a little bit careful because when Mercury goes over the rising, it can like indicate lying or trying to hide some truths. So we will need to keep like an eye on that. But I guess whenever it enters the first house again, the things will become very obvious for the people. So we can also like look at Trump's chart and what this new moon does for him, because it's like, it stood out to me. Because Trump has a natal moon in the 4th house in Sagittarius. So the 4th house is about your home, your residence, the place you live. So actually also your country, it's the place where you live. So it's also about emotions and the house of the mother. But like, yeah, he has like a new moon in the sign of his natal moon. And when you have a moon in Sag, it's like a very freedom-loving moon. So I think that's beautiful to see. Although there are some things that are less good that I see in his 4th house, but in general, lunar Sagittarius have like a very, very big need for personal freedom, a big need for space. And in general, they're very happy and easygoing people, as long as you don't lock them up or put them like in a cage. And that is like physically, but also emotionally. And yeah, it's like displacement, it like enhances all the qualities typically associated with the moon, because the 4th house is ruled by the moon. And it like suggests that he is intuitive, emotional, and caring. However, like when it's in the 4th house and when it's about the moon, you only show this side to people that are like very, very close to you. And we can also see that his moon is conjunct the south node in his natal chart. So whenever people have the moon on the south node, it's like a little bit difficult for them to like fully express their emotions. And many of them learn in their early life to like contain themselves. And it's hard for him to like ask and accept help. We can also see that Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, which is at 4 degrees, is also in his 4th house. So Lilith in the 4th house, that like indicates a home disaster. Because people who have Lilith in the 4th house, they don't really recognize their feminine side, and they like to shun their yin energy. So that also shows to me that like when you have Lilith in the 4th house in the same sign of the moon on the south node, your attitude towards women can be a bit destructive, and they can like project karmic baggage onto other females that remind them subconsciously of their mother. But overall, when you have like a natal moon in the 4th house, your roots mean like a lot to you. So his roots are very important for Trump, and he's very, very attached to traditions of his ancestry line. And this like portrays that he's like very, very patriotic as well. So that like really stood out. So he has like now a new start with his new moon in the same placement as his natal moon. And with Mercury that is going retrograde over his moon, it's like reviewing his emotions, correcting past mistakes regarding miscommunication with women, can be women at home, or he can be like very, very sensitive to the mistakes that are currently happening in his country, fourth house. So he's reviewing things, and he's trying to like figure out and really rethinking how he can like fix the mistakes that are going on with his country right now. He's trying to fix mistakes that he's very emotionally attached to. And if you want me to like look deeper into Trump's chart and like maybe read his whole natal chart, just let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll do a whole birth chart reading for Trump. And by that, you can like get to know him a little bit better from an astrological perspective. I think that will be interesting. So if we then look at NATO's chart, we can see that NATO has the new moon conjunct Chiron, and Chiron is our wounded healer. It's very, very difficult to heal our Chiron wound. It is like, something that asks us to like dive really deep, confront our own wounds, like be willing to look and be very introspective. And Chiron takes like a whole lifelong journey to like get fully healed. And actually Chiron, it's very, very difficult to heal fully. And in the NATO chart, it like portrays to, we can heal ourselves if we talk to others about our wounds. And like, if we heal our own wounds, we can heal others' wounds as well. Very special placement. So the third house is communication, and with Mercury there right now, there can be a lot of miscommunication that is very, very hurtful. And Mercury retrograde for NATO happens on the EC, on the big black line at the bottom of the chart. That is the most sensitive point of the whole chart. And again, the big black line starts the fourth house, and the fourth house are different lands that are part of NATO, different nations, lands. So yeah, they need to like review very big mistakes right now. And they can like receive some messages or some forms of communication that can be very worrisome for NATO and can create wounds that are very, very difficult to heal with this new moon right now. So yeah, I can see like an expansion of soul wound. And again, by like the 25th of December until the 3rd of January, we can expect some hurtful news about their next steps. So I then quickly want to look at Russia's chart as well, because I just want to point out there are like a lot of charts for Russia, and I am like using the rebirth chart that was set in 1999 for new Russia with Belarus. So I don't know the exact time of birth. So if you know that, or if you may be watching from Russia, or you have some Russian family and you know more about that, please help me out and let me know in the comment box below if you know something about the exact birth, like time of birth. But without the time of birth, this chart like strongly shows like a Sagittarian nation. Look at all these planets in Sagittarius. That is like insane. And Uranus next year, actually completely from 2026 to 2033, Uranus will move into the sign of Gemini, and it will like oppose all of Russia's NATO planets in Sagittarius. So Uranus is shocks, disruptions, very volatile energy, surprises, a lot of surprises in store. So yeah, Russia will be getting shocked all the way up until 2033. So that will be very interesting to watch that play out, because there's not going to be steadiness for them in a very long time. So then we see like this new moon in the chart of Russia. It's like It is conjunct Pluto and Chiron. And Pluto is the planet of power, domination, control, power struggles, intensity, transformation, hidden things, secrets. It's a very, very intense planet, Pluto, because traditionally it belongs to Scorpio. So with this new moon in Sag happening at the almost exact same degree of Pluto and Chiron, it's like expanding their need for control, making them more sensitive to it, expanding wounds, expand being hurt, and with Mercury retrograde over Black Moon Lilith, so we have all these intense things combined in the sign of Sagittarius. So we also see the moon, Black Moon Lilith, the sun, Pluto, and Chiron, all packed with each other. So Mercury retrograde on Black Moon Lilith is like rethinking, reviewing themes like oppression, shame, taboo, shadow side. Lilith is very, very dark feminine energy. And yeah, it reveals like the parts that you like try to keep secret, to avoid criticism or rejection, because this is like our hidden side. So we like can look at it as our shadow side, and it like represents everything in society that is like forbidden or unacceptable. So that is like being highlighted for Russia as well right now. So yeah, Mercury retrograde will go over their sun, over their Pluto, over their Chiron. It is like insane what's happening right now. And because Chiron is also added into the mix here, that is like very, very worrisome to see, because that like highlights the wounds in that nation. So very big ego games, issues about control are highlighted, things about oppression, power struggles, and their shadow side is like getting immensely expanded right now. So yeah, we see Pluto and Black Moon Lilith on top of the sun, and the sun is like your ego. It's where you shine bright. Lilith is your shadow side. Pluto is wanting to have control. And like, if you meet someone in your life and they have like Pluto on the sun, and you like start a war with them, it is very, very difficult to win, because Pluto is going to have the upper hand when it's mixed with the sun. So their ego, the sun, embodies like in a very natural way all the qualities from Pluto and Black Moon Lilith. So this is actually a bad placement. Definitely not someone to argue with. So in all the years that I do astrology, I've never seen a natal chart from a person with all these things combined. So Pluto on the sun is very, very controlling. If you ever meet a person in your life with Pluto on the sun, just be mindful and be careful about them. You do not want to cross them in any way. So we saw some very, very big similarities in the chart of Trump, NATO, and Russia, because Trump and Russia both have a moon in Sagittarius, which is highlighted now. They both have Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius that is getting triggered now. And both Russia and NATO have a Chiron at the exact same 8th degree of Sagittarius. So that means that Russia and NATO, when you make a synastry and combine the two NATO charts of them together, you can see they have Chiron conjunct Chiron. So that like indicates stimulating each other's wounds and like hurting each other. So there are some very interesting things that are aligned here right now, and they like all revolve around themes of control, about wounds, about not wanting to be oppressed, and about wanting to take back control and hurt each other. So that is it's like really stood out to me, and I wonder how this like will play out. Definitely now with the Mars that's gonna go retrograde, it's not easy to like see which of them is going to have the upper hand, considering that all of their placements get like severely affected here. So yeah, with Mars retrograde, things will expand, things will get worse. And I'm sorry if that sounds negative. I wish that I could like share some more positive news with you, but this is just like the current reality. Um, and Animar says, NATO poking the Russian bear for decades, there could be a reckoning. Yes, for sure. I'm like, I live in a NATO country myself. I live actually in the like the main seat, or how do you call it? I'm living in Belgium, in the main seat of Europe. So for me to like watch this and watch all of their charts, that just makes me a bit uncomfortable, but still know that they're like trying to uh, really project fear into society right now. And I think it's very, very necessary for us to stay calm, to stay grounded, because this conflict has been going on for way longer than when they informed us in 2022. It's been playing out for a very long time, but like Russia is like the big military power of like the whole world. So I don't understand why NATO is poking the Russian bear for such a long time. I do know, and I'm gonna try to explain and go deeper into that in my Mars retrograde video, because I know it's about the BRICS countries and a lot of other stuff going on. But like I know it's gonna be very hard to defeat Russia. Not to say it's impossible, but that's just my opinion. So that being said, we're gonna move over to the mini readings of the 12 signs. And they're gonna be way more positive than what I just mentioned. So stay with me. And if you don't know your exact rising sign, it's important to know that, so you can look that up. And the first big black line is your rising sign. So you can then listen first to your rising sign, then your sun sign. And if you want to look at things from an emotional perspective, you can also listen to your moon sign. So let's start with Aries. Aries, we have the moon in the 9th house, and it's in a fellow fire sign. So that is good news for all the Aries, because this will like expand optimism into our belief system. The 9th house. The 9th house is also about faith, religion, higher knowledge, our mentors, teachers, and like our purpose and how we look at the future. It's about learning, higher education. It's about long distance travel and other cultures. And with Mercury retrograde, we can like study something related to travel or spirituality, or something connected to religion or philosophy as well. But with Mercury retrograde, we will need to review and rethink some things, or it could also mean that we are like picking up a lesson or a course from the past and bring it back into our life to like develop that even more right now. So the 9th house is so the future, new beliefs around the future can like suddenly appear. They need some readjustments with the square to Saturn and with the Mercury retrograde. We can also like bump into new mentors or receive some kind of guidance to like expand our vision or integrate more wisdom into our belief system. It's a very good time for you to like dive into astrology as well, or other forms of higher knowledge, and good time to consult someone who does astrology that can like really help you and like expand things right now. So my tip for you is to like seek guidance, try to change your belief systems, make them more expansive and in a more optimistic and a more healthy way. And like very good time to take a class of some sort that you're interested, that will like gain you more wisdom. So very good time for self-development as well, of course. Really dive into learning, explore and understand different cultures, and get out of your like usual surroundings. It's like really time to get out of the world and like plant new seeds in the outside world. And Mercury rules your 6th and your 3rd house. So you can be like learning about topics related to health, well-being, or something that can be used in your job or in your duties, or can be implemented in your daily routines. The third house is the mind. The sixth house is your health, your job, and your daily routines. So think about, you can also like be busy with Mercury retrograde in your ninth house, thinking about how you can like improve or expand some fortune in these areas. And blocks from Saturn can help you make all of your plans and future visions more realistic, even though it can take some time. Yeah, the active mind gets a little bit challenged by Saturn in the 12th. So it can take some more time to like really learn new things or find solutions for problems in your daily life. But the square to Saturn is like helping you to evaluate your beliefs and how you like look at your future, make it more realistic, make it more real as well, or like help to ground your higher vision into reality. So it's also going to help you become more aware of some blind spots in your subconscious. And if Saturn makes bad aspects in your natal chart, mental health could be a little bit of an issue right now. Issues around that are like asking you to dive deeper within and free yourself from that, but create more structure in your subconscious, and this will benefit your thinking process, and you will experience more freedom in your belief system, ninth house. Really focus on spiritual practices and behave in a responsible way regarding like your vision for the future. But this full moon trines our Mars, because Mars belongs to Aries and it's in the fifth house, so it's actually fun for us. So like this action-packed energy from Mars, you can like put a lot of energy in the themes I just mentioned, because this will like come naturally to you, because Mars is your ruler. And the ruler of this moon is in the third house of our thinking. Jupiter is there, so it's like expanding our mind. It is expanding the way how we communicate, how much we communicate. I think a lot of Aries from June this year, like really, they entered like a period in their life where where communication got really expanded. So could also be something related to your siblings, writing, speaking, social media, website, blogs, and maybe some sibling will like expand your vision on the future or introduce you to a new mentor during this new moon. Or someone in your immediate environment, the third house, could have like a very beneficial effect on your belief system. You can also be like expand in learning through social media or through like your technological devices. So big reset axis of your mind. So good luck, Aries, and enjoy this new moon, even though it's gonna have some little issues with Mercury retrograde. Then we have Taurus. You have a new moon in the 8th house. So 8th house is about rebirth, intimacy, shared resources, transformation, psychological trauma, or like psychologically in general, trauma, shadow. It's also about like shadow integration. It's like a big psychological reset. 8th house is about secrets, finances, like joint finances, stocks, funds, precious metals. So it's also about money that comes to you from clients. So there's like a new start happening and a lot of reviewing in those themes. So make sure your taxes and all your insurance are in order. Otherwise, you could have like a little bit of difficulties around that with Mercury going back in that house. But you will also have like financial gains through like joint ventures or like projects with another person. It's also a very good time to start implementing more therapy. Very good time to like consult a therapist. So it's about deeper psychological exploration, expanding your joint finances and your shared resources and your investments. It's like reviewing them looking at how can I make these better with Mercury retrograde. And it's also about bonding, because the eighth house is a very, very deep and house of bonding. So you could like have some transformation in that coming as well. And it's good to like gain more wisdom about these topics, looking at the bigger picture about finances, about investments, all the eighth house issues. And Jupiter, the ruler, is in your second house. So there can be a lot of wealth through investments and joint finances. Other people are like impacting your finances and your self-esteem. And some reset is gonna like expand your self-esteem. That could be happening as well with the new moon in the eighth house. But you will have to like review and rethink all things shared with other people. So be mindful about that. And the square to Saturn indicates that it might take some more time for investments to like really increase, or be careful about investing or lending money to your friends right now with the square to Saturn in the 11th house. Be careful about money and friends combining with each other, because that could prove to be a little bit of a pain in the ass right now. So good luck, Taurus. The next one is Gemini. You have the moon in the 7th house. So it's in the opposite sign of you, and you are, of course, very much impacted by the Mercury retrograde in the 7th house of partnerships. So other people are like offering you expansion. This can be in business, this can be in romantic, this can be a time for new relationship. But I think with Mercury retrograde in the 7th house, and like Mercury retrograde is so famous for like bumping into lovers from the past or people from the past. And I think you, Gemini, are like one of the signs that's gonna have like a big bumping into someone that was probably a past lover actually. So you will feel the need to like adapt and have more adventure being added in your existing relationships. So yeah, new contracts, new agreements, a collaboration that is like connected to expanding your mind would be very good for you. But it's like in the house of other people. So an expansion in the number of your close one-on-one relationships can also happen. And probably a lot of people from the past are coming back in your life right now. So yeah, big chance you're gonna meet your ex. And that will have to do with something that's not wrapped up right now, just so that you can do that. And it's like about gaining more wisdom and gaining more understanding towards each other. And some Geminis will definitely like reconnect with an old lover. And it can also be like if you suddenly bump into more people from a different culture or different like country, it's good to like form close bonds with them as well. So it of course rules you. Mercury rules you. It rules your first house. So you will get like a new shift in your identity through other people. So yeah, it's like creating an expansion in how you self-assert yourself, and how you can like you're learning about how to relate toward others in like a broader perspective. And the square to Saturn is in your 10th house. So conversations with like these past lovers can prove to be a little bit cold actually as well, because Saturn can be a little bit cold. But this is way more challenging for people who are self-employed. That is also part of the 10th house. And it could be that like if you talk about your long-term plans with other people, or with like spouses or business partners, that they are gonna say to you like, we need more time before we can like start that. So it can create a little bit of a challenge, and it can take some time to like fully unfold. So give it time, and people, other people, give them also time to come back to you to like finish and wrap everything up. But apart from that, like a new moon in your seventh house with Mercury retrograde is like, it's gonna take ample of time, but like something very beautiful regarding other people can like really happen here over the next few weeks. So enjoy, Gemini. Then we have Cancer. Your new moon is in the sixth house. Sixth house is work, duties, daily habits. It's your health, your well-being. It's your service towards others and your daily routine. So there can be like a big expansion happening, and a lot of changes in your service towards others, or connected to your job. A lot of changes can happening there. So you can like adopt a new and more adventurous way of handling like your daily activities, and like really expand your vision on that, and be mindful, or like learn yourself how to be more wise at your job, or look at it from a bigger perspective as well. So for you, it's like new moon that's very good for like work smarter and not harder. Because with Mercury retrograde in the sixth house, there are going to be like a lot of changes in your schedule, a lot of meetings, appointments that are up for like very mutable energy, like very changeable energy. And that can be like a little bit too much for you to handle. But positive side is like, there can be like a renewed daily interest into like broadening your vision related to your job, and how you look at your health as well, or how you handle your health. So it's time to like gain more wisdom about how you take care of your body. And it's very good if something is bothering you right now regarding to your health, to like explore alternative health routines right now. They're gonna prove to be of better luck for you. And the sixth house is normally very, very focused on the little details, because it's the traditional house of Virgo. And if you like run into minor problems or complications right now, this new moon in Sag can make them look a bit bigger than they are. So yeah, it's good for you to like set intentions around how you work, your productivity, your efficiency at work, and also look at your health, look at the bigger picture of your health, and try to not get too focused or get carried away about the little details. So like really like zoom out and look where you can like add more expansion and wisdom related to these themes. And the ruler is in the 12th house, so it's about your mental and physical health. It's very good to add like new alternative ways to balance your physical and your mental health out. Your sleeping habits could have been up for like a change since June this year. And it would be good to like take some extra supplements for winter time with this moon in the sixth house. And with the square to Saturn, if you do take like alternative treatments, they can like need a bit longer time to come into full effect. And with Saturn in your ninth house, yeah, it's also about your belief system and about wanting to learn how to be more productive as well, and that would need to take some time as well. But Saturn in the ninth is also like people in a power position could be of help to you. So yeah, it would be like good if you bump into someone who guides you, maybe how to meditate or how to like reprogram certain belief system. It's really good time to dive into that, because they will be very, very, very much expanding your daily routine. So it's very good time as well to like apply for a new job, especially a job that is like related to self-development or spiritual themes like travel, or if you have like already mastered some of these areas. It's a very good time to like embrace your inner authority and maybe start being of counsel towards others as well. It can also be like vice versa, this Mercury retrograde. Just keep in mind that like Saturn will refrain everything a bit until Mercury is out of shadow. But a lot of effort needs to be made now in the area of your job and your health. So good to like change some things up there, because like a healthy lifestyle will reflect in your work area as well. It's like connected to each other. Then the next sign we have Leo. And Leo, this is like so cool for Leos. Like, I wish I was Leo right now because they have like a moon in their fifth house. So if you're a Leo sun or if you're Leo rising, like the fifth house is a traditional Leo house. And the fifth house is about romance, children, creativity, fun, and being in spotlight and like really putting yourself out there. And because this new moon is like trining your sun, your rising of your moon, so it's like very, very positive. So yeah, it's time to shine, dear Leos. It's like a very, very lovely new moon for you. It's like time to focus on what makes your heart sing, on the things that you really love and that like really get you excited in the morning. So if you like implement something new right now, those new seeds will definitely kick off in like 6 months and they could like show very big results when you have like the full moon in Sag. So very, very good idea, Leos, to like have more fun, really enhance your creativity. Creative projects tend to be very, very fruitful over the next 6 months. There can be like a new idea or like new inspiration, something gets you like excited, maybe a new idea for business. In the fifth house, things get born. So yeah, Leos are maybe the only ones that I'm gonna advise right now. You can take some risk, you can like gamble, and really like put yourself out there. There can also be like an expansion in dating or having more adventure with your kids. That's also one of the possibilities. Or like maybe dating someone new that's more adventurous, or someone from a different cultural background as well. And here for you, Leos, Mercury retrograde in your fifth house. That's also like romantic lovers from the past that are gonna come back in the next 3 weeks. So if you're a Leo and if that happened, let me know, because like I think it's so special each and every time we have a Mercury retrograde in the fifth or in the seventh house, which rules romance and long-term commitments. We do always see like past spouses, past partners. So yeah, I'm like excited for you, Leos, but be careful with this Mercury retrograde, that it can be about wrapping things up and not about like diving into the relationship again. Some Leos will, I know the pull will be too strong, but with the new moon here, it's like saying there's also room for someone fully new to like come into your life right now. So take some time, don't go too quick, give yourself some time to think about everything. Because if you move too fast with Mercury retro now, you could end up making some mistakes. So be a little bit careful about that. And Leos who are currently traveling in another country, or planning to do that in the next couple of weeks, they could very well meet someone in a foreign country, because your love and romantic attraction is in the sign of Sagittarius in your fifth house, which rules foreign countries. So with the fifth house also ruling over creative projects, it could also be like that you restart or re-implement some hobby or some creative project from the past. So if you're like a musician, or if you have like some type of special talent and you're not using it anymore, it would be very wise of you, Leos, to like pick it up again, start to relearn, redo, correct some mistakes, and have some fun with it, because I know you're very, very creative people. And with Sag, everything you like restart now can have like a very big expansion, give you much more wisdom. It's actually a good time to do that. And yeah, things that you start now with this new moon could also prove to be of great joy in the future. So go out, go explore, expansion in kids, good time to get pregnant for Leos if they want that. And um, you will probably have to redo some things if you want to get pregnant. But while doing that, you can like experience a lot of fun. So and with the square to Saturn, it could like indicate that some types of fun could lead to a long-term commitment. So I just like want to warn you about that. So yeah, express yourself through art, expand your mind, heal your inner child by improving yourself, by doing self-development, by doing things that you loved doing as a kid. Leo also rules kids. And we see that Jupiter, the dispositor of this new moon, is currently in the sign of Gemini, and it's in your 11th house. It's your social circle, your group of friends. So all the themes that I just mentioned could be related to your friends as well. So you could like have a lot of expansion and fun through your friends. Maybe a bit too much, actually. Be careful about overindulgence or being or drinking too much or something like that. But it's time to like let a bit loose, take your foot off the brake, but really be mindful about moderation. Because with Jupiter and Sag, things could get like a little bit out of hand. And because I know Leos, they're very wild. But that's why I love you so much. So happy times for the Leo. Enjoy. So the next one is Virgo, and for you, this is happening in the fourth house of family, your home, your residence, people you live with together, family in general, and like you're a mutable sign. So yeah, you will like all the Virgos or the Virgo risings or moons will receive a square from this new moon, but you could like decide to spend more time with your family or look at your time management regarding to that, because with Mercury retrograde it's like asking you to review things in related that are related to your family or people you live with together. Some like will experience like a new start in an emotional part of their life, because the fourth house also rules very deep emotions. Some might have like a new start in the relationship with their mother as well. Some might need more attention from the parents, or the parents need to be of some help of some sort with the Mercury retrograde, or maybe your parents need some more help, or you need to like help correct past mistakes in regards to the family. So with Mercury here, it's also like an opportunity to like move or make a big change within the home itself. But there will be like maybe a deepening of connection, like a change with family members, gain more wisdom about your family and about your ancestral heritage or lineage. And a new decision that's going to be implemented too fast with the family now can be met with some challenges during the Mercury retrograde. Maybe you need to take on more responsibility for your family, or by doing that, you can create or like expand your connection to them as well. So maybe something pops up regarding the property, real estate. Maybe someone want to buy something new, like expand in property as well. With the square to Saturn, that could be a little bit delayed. But it's like good to also like explore more from within the home, act more adventurous around the home. Some will want to move to another country because Sagittarius rules travel and foreign country, or some will want to add more cultural or foreign culture inside of their home. So the fourth house is about roots, the past, and releasing like emotions that make you more free and make you more like wise, or like be able to see the bigger picture. Some will have to make a bigger commitment. Some will move together with their partner because it squares to Saturn. Maybe their partner will take more responsibility within the home. Yeah, it depends. if you're single or married. Saturn in the 7th, to be honest, can also like break things up as well. And by that, things around the home need to be re-evaluated. It also mean that, but I hope not for you. But yeah, it's like this one is going to be very, very much affecting you, dear Virgos. And I know with Mars retrograde in your 12th house, it's not been an easy time. I'm gonna dive deeper into my Mars retrograde video. And for you Virgos, I know it's been like a bit tough. The good news is like Jupiter is in your 10th house. So maybe you get like a new job offer, or maybe you need to relocate due to your job or vice versa, or like your career expands and maybe you relocate to another country. But like definitely like an increase in social status, a career advancement, and something will need to be reviewed regarding that during Mercury retrograde, because it's like in the 4th and in the 10th house, the opposition. And the square to Saturn in the 7th is like maybe some of your close relationships are gonna move somewhere else or want to move to another place. Maybe some family drama gets brought into the marriage, or some drama from the marriage is like being brought into the family. And partners of our family could be like refraining, or wanting to reframe your advancement in career a bit, or they would like you to like stay home more with them. That is like also one of the possibilities. So it depends in your natal personal chart and your own personal situation. So good luck, Virgos. The next one is Libra. You have the moon in your 3rd house of communication, speaking, siblings, writing, being on the road, vehicles, social media, website, blogs. It's all part of the 3rd house. Also neighbors, going to the store, your immediate environment. So, but definitely the 3rd house, an expansion in communication, a big increase in your connections to others in your close environment. And also like, there's an increase and an expansion in like exchanging wisdom through writing, speaking, and learning. So all the things you learn now are probably going to be connected to like some sort of higher knowledge, some sort of wisdom, foreign cultures, about travel, maybe a very good time to like take a class on that, to make your view on things more realistic, or like to gain more knowledge about seeing the bigger picture in life. There can be a very big increase, flow of communication, of documents, communications through technological devices like correspondence, mails, phones. And with the Mercury retrograde here, it's very good to like back things up, because although Mercury likes to be in the 3rd house, it has like a very, very big manifestation and a very big power in that house. So it would be wise to like double check everything you read, say, sign. And if you want to, if you not want to lose certain important documents, it would be good to like make a copy or back them up safely. So it can also be like you feel like your mind is very much buzzing with ideas with this new moon and Mercury in the sign of your mind. And like Libras, you're gonna be the one that like it's possible that your car breaks down. And for some late Virgo risings, that is also applicable, because I'm like using a whole sign here. But if you're a late Virgo, you can have Mercury in the 3rd house as well. So yeah, be careful with your car. And if you like purchase a new car right now, that can be so a little bit delayed. But some will definitely have to fix issues with their car with Mercury retro. It would be a very good time to rethink, review, cleanse out your Facebook, social media, and delete things that are not gaining wisdom to your mind right now. If you feel a bit stuck, short trips can lead to like expansion in your mind. And learn more about the 9th and the 12th house themes. because Mercury rules those houses for you, Libra. So it's about spirituality, higher knowledge, and someone from the past could be like of guidance to you during this retrograde. And you'll bump into people who could be of guidance in your immediate environment. And Jupiter is in your ninth house, the ruler of this new moon. So there's like a big emphasis on the learning axis in your chart. So you're gonna have to like expand certain beliefs, certain courses, and it needs like a big reevaluation, and it will take some time with the square to Saturn. And if you feel like your mind is going wild a little bit, write down your thoughts, because otherwise you could become stuck in your mind with the square to Saturn. And Saturn in the sixth can give some issues related to health, job paths that need to be looked at during the retrograde motion. And all the third house issues need like more dedication and more responsibility, and like you need to look at your time management more than during other times. And something in your daily life can block like your third house issues temporarily. So maybe something blocks in your daily life, and then you need to like rethink, figure things out, search for a solution. So yeah, like that can happen, and then you will need to like take a step back, look at things from a bigger perspective, and really speak to yourself about higher wisdom, change your views about certain topics, and then you will find an answer. Don't get stuck like in the little ideas. Mercury tends to do that. Be also a little bit careful about like misunderstanding or miscommunication that is going to be reflected in the work area with Saturn in the sixth. Some mistakes can be made through writing, speaking, teaching, signing, or something having to do with your siblings as well. And these mental blocks in your mind, yeah, they like you feel more introspective and not so action oriented in your daily routine right now. So work could also prove to be of more heavy and more burdensome for you in your mind. And there can be some blocks or issues revolving around your car and being on the road. So in your daily life, you're driving with the car. Maybe your car breaks down in your daily life, it gets blocked, and you need to like go fix and figure everything out. That's like one of the possibilities. I'm just like trying to like show you the dynamic of these planets right now. So good luck, my dear Libras. Then we have Scorpios. Scorpio have the new moon in the second house of money, finances, income, possession, self-esteem. So yeah, it's good time to like create new ways in that. Look at how you like value yourself and your possessions, and you can like start a new approach in that. And if you like implement something new in your income, that can like really create a big expansion over the next 6 months. So learn about like what you think, what you send out comes back. It's like law of attraction based, but for that you need to like really take care of your trauma first in order for it to like work well. But it's like, if you have an open mind, this new moon can like really like expand your income or make it more bigger. But with the blocks to Saturn, this will take a bit more time than your usual. So yeah, the second house is about assets, possessions, material, tangible things. There can be like a shift in income or resources, but with Mercury retrograde, there can be like unexpected expenses coming up that are making a square to the fifth house. Fifth house is fun. These unexpected expenses can be very draining, very burdening. But either way, it's a good time to like reevaluate your financial decisions and like try to enjoy or expand enjoyment and like using your five senses. which is like seeing, tasting, touching, smelling, hearing, because new moons tend to add things in that. But with the square to Saturn, it could be proved to be a bit harder to obtain all these things right now. But still, if you feel a little bit overburdened, just relax, listen to some music, work on self-development. That's gonna positively influence your self-worth, and by that your possessions as well. And the ruler is in your 8th house, so Jupiter is in your 8th. If you lend someone money, money can come back now because of the retrograde motion. But yeah, the 8th house is about other people's money. It's about give and take in relationships. There can be some issues going on revolving that, not only in your marriage, but also with your friends, because Mercury rules your 11th house. And Jupiter in the 8th is like a lot of money is coming in, but as much as going out. So be a bit mindful about that. And with the square to Saturn in your 5th house, if you have children, there could be some extra expenses during this retrograde regarding your kids. Be careful about lending large sums of money to your friends right now. And like some will try to like invest in money and something that can like increase or expand. But with the block to Saturn, I would not advise you to like gamble or do speculative investments, because that will not be proven valuable for you in the long term. And with Jupiter in the 8th, it could also like simply mean that your partner needs more money now. But be very realistic in how much you give them, because we do have like the square to Saturn in your 5th, which also rules romantic attraction. So if your partner needs money right now, that could prove to be like a huge bummer on your attraction. So just giving that away as well. And yeah, if you have like low self-esteem as a Scorpio, be mindful of like risky spending behavior during the Mercury retrograde in order for you to like make yourself feel better about something that's not going to work right now. This energy, like, it tends to work both ways. So if you have been making a lot of money in the past, then you will need to like budget a little bit more right now. But if you have been like very low on income, this Mercury retrograde could give you like the courage and the time to review things around your money, and a positive change and like an expansion could come forth from that as well. But like balance really needs to be found right now, and it can be harder with the Saturn square. So be very careful about stock markets and big fluctuations in that as well. Just know something in your something in your 2nd house can be changed over the next few weeks. So good luck, my dear Scorpios. The next one is Sagittarius. You have the new moon, of course, in your 1st house, because it's in the sign of Sagittarius. So there's like a new way of identity, a new way of self-expression. It's very good for self-improvement, my dear Sagittarius. So there's like an urge to expand your personal identity, and some like an improved you could come forward and show itself over the next 6 months. It would be very wise for you, Sagittarius, to maybe like start some kind of therapy or dive deeper into self improvement or self-development, because with Saturn in your 4th house, emotions are a bit tricky lately. So explore new ways of like looking at yourself and looking at your own identity, and like change how you present yourself to the world through like travel or learning or obtaining higher wisdom. Really like expand your knowledge. So your self-assertion can expand, your goals and aspirations can like really expand, and like in 6 months from now, a very, very big change could like be happening around these themes. You could also feel like more adventurous, or like expanding the view that you have on yourself. There can be even like the first house is also physical, so maybe a physical improvement or physical expansion. So be careful of gaining a little bit of weight. That could also happen a bit during this new moon. But this new moon trines Mars in the ninth house. So you are a fire sign, you have a new moon in your first house, in your sign, you have a Mercury retrograde in your sign, and you have a trine from Mars, which is also in a fire sign. So it's actually very good, Sagittarius. It's going to be like a very, very big change for you coming up right now. But you will need to give it some time, because I know Sagittarius have not been having the easiest time lately. But like this trine to Mars is like very good for like putting all your energy into like learning new things in philosophy and higher knowledge. That could like really be integrated into the self, into your personality right now. So that's actually very positive. But we have the Saturn square, and it's in the fourth house. So people that you live with together can prove to be some kind of block towards the expansion that you want to like implement in your personality right now. Maybe you have been gaining wisdom. Maybe you have been proving that you've became wiser lately. And yeah, some people in your fourth house, in your family, in your home environment could maybe not be cheering you on about that right now. And Mercury is retrograde in your sign. It like rules your seventh and your 10th house. Seventh house is partners, marriage, one-on-one relationships. And the 10th house is people in authority and the outside world. So all these things are happening in angular houses for you, Sagittarius. So it's very important. And like very big insights are going to come up for you during this Mercury retrograde in the next few weeks. And it will be related to your career and to your partner. With Saturn square, these could prove to be a bit difficult to manage. I'm not going to lie. But eventually it will like lead towards like very big growth and a very big expansion in your identity. So maybe a boss or a partner really triggers you to change something about your personality. And like with the Saturn in the fourth house, the home and the family, these could like try to block this new improved version of you. You could like receive some coldness from them. So it's important to let people know how you really feel, because with Saturn in the fourth, it could be difficult for you to like really open up and really show you how you truly feel deep inside. It could also mean that maybe you are a little bit cold to people you live with together, but I actually, when I look at each chart and listen to my intuition, it feels like other people are more cold towards you and in your expansion and in your wisdom. So make others know how you really feel, because communications that were like swept underneath the carpet, they're gonna be like popping up right now with this Mercury retrograde in your sign. Like it needs to be addressed right now, otherwise it could mean like some sort of splitting in your fourth house, in your family and people you live with together. Saturn can like really break things up. So can like, because Saturn is in your fourth house squaring your Jupiter in the first, in the seventh, I'm sorry, this could like also indicate Jupiter in the seventh house can indicate being set free from a restrictive relationship or a restrictive home situation. So Jupiter here can like release you from a partner to make space for someone that suits you better. And it can, by doing that, it can bring solitude, Saturn in your fourth house, in your area of home. So some issues related to your parents, of people that you live with together, can trigger some past emotions related to your upbringing as well. Maybe your mother or your father was very cold to you, and this is now being replicated in your current relationship. That is a possibility. And maybe those who are a bit distant or a bit cold during this time, Jupiter can like really blow things up and make them even more distant to you. So all these heavy emotions can be very like weighty on you. And this Jupiter Saturn square will be exact on the 24th of December. But mostly like the build up towards the aspect gets most intense. So you're already in that right now. So all these emotions, all these blockages, this new moon, while Mercury retro in your sign, you will want to experience more freedom, Sagittarius. Freedom to be like fully yourself and to be able to like change into the person that you want to become. This will play out in the upcoming weeks, but will last up to 6 months. So Mercury retro here in your sign could feel a little bit of an identity crisis because it squares your family, it rules your career and your outside reputation, and opposite your seventh house of other people and close partnerships. So expect a very big evaluation regarding re-evaluations regarding those themes. And any challenge now will create like a better and new improved version of you in the end. So maybe Sagittarius, it is time to like face reality, and maybe it's time to like change things for the better. So also be a little bit mindful about projecting issues onto other people right now, because this new moon, this Mercury retrograde, it's actually all about you right now. So focus on self-development, self-integration, learn from other people's triggers, ask yourself, what does it say about me? And ask yourself, what do I really want for myself? How can I show up more for myself and for other people? Because it's like trying to learn you how to communicate better with others right now. So, and it's mostly about how can I improve the relationship with myself. Very important to handle or focus on self-love during this time. Because I know when I look at the chart that there will be some like growing pains, but it will be very worth it in the end. So just grab things by the horns and choose for yourself first. Deal with yourself first before you deal with other people. And your new improved self with Jupiter in the seventh can bring forth like a bunch of new close one-on-one relationships that will suit you way better when Jupiter goes direct on February the 4th. So if new opportunities present themselves right now, or new people come into your life, be sure to like grab those moments, grab those people, because from February the 3rd, they will prove to be like of big expansion and big happiness and protection in your life. So hold on, Sagittarius, and I'm wishing you the best, and like enjoy this transformative period in your life right now. So I'm wishing you the best. Good luck. Kirsten says, things are going a little quickly and all things in life with ascension in Sagittarius. Yes, I know. Such a big expansion, so many things to do. It's like, it's incredible. Like with Mercury retrograde, my mind is buzzing. There's so much to do, so many new ideas. It's like unstoppable, yeah, triggers and stimulation. So, and hello, Natalie, and hello, Claudia. Hello, Vincent, and Timothy is here as well. Hello, everyone, and hi, Jana. And thank you so much, Kirsten, for being here with us tonight. I really enjoy each and every one having here with me. And the next sign is Capricorn. So Capricorns, you have the moon in the 12th house, and the 12th house is a very hidden, a very private, very behind the scenes. It's about the subconscious. It's vivid dreams with the new moon here. There's like an expansion in your dreams, an expansion in your intuition. It's about the unseen realm, but it's also like about addictions, about self-sabotage, and it's also the house of endings. So it's a very, very mystical house, the 12th house. So it's about like processing stuff in your subconscious. Something important can end or be completed with this Mercury retrograde, about the themes that I just mentioned. But when you have like a new moon in the 12th house, it can feel like you need some more rest. And like if you feel that, just give in to that. With the Mercury retrograde, your subconscious mind is getting very loud, very out there. Maybe you want to sleep more, to let go, to recharge, listen to your body, and allow that to happen. But a very good time for like inner exploration, the 12th house. Like you have like a natural Sagittarius on the 12th house cusp. So I think you already know a lot about dreams and symbolism and dreams. And like, I know you're like fully wanting to like expand spiritual practices and spiritual wisdom. So that's actually very good. Um, and like these practices could like really clean out the subconscious right now. With Mercury retro, it's good to like look at the things from the past and find some resolutions for that, and let things go. Because with Mercury retro, some self-sabotaging patterns from the past could pop up and can be like, let go now of that behavior, because maybe some mental health issues from the past come back up. Maybe some traumas from the past can be let go of now, and this can prove to like be a big stabilization effect in the long term. But it can take like some extra time to process with the square to Saturn. So the 12th house is like the astral realm. So like by exploring the astral or the unseen realm, you can gain like a lot of wisdom into your subconscious right now. So it's really time to implement wisdom or higher knowledge into the subconscious or regarding spiritual themes. There will be like new ways of connecting to your spirituality come forward. Hidden things will come into the light, and it's like very good to do explorations into your soul, and like hypnotherapy and hypnosis and all these type of stuff. Very good to wipe out or wipe the subconscious clean. You have like this incredible window right now to do that, and I know there's going to be some resistance, because then you will probably have to let go of some self-sabotaging behavior. Maybe you have to let go of addictions or other types where you like block yourself. And I know that can be very hard to let go of, but you have such a big window now to like reset this important house in your chart. It would be very terrible to like miss this opportunity right now. So I know sometimes it's not easy to do the less fun work, but know that it's like meant to be right now. So by releasing these patterns, you will develop stronger faith, you will expand your wisdom, and you will also like learn how to understand your subconscious motivations. That's also like a big part of it. So use your imagination, create something that needs imagination, implement something new in the spiritual realms, write a fairy tale, compose some divine music, edit pictures, make a mystical video, something created and connected to expansion, to self-development, to travel, and do it behind the scenes. So meditation, yoga, breath work, start doing them on a daily basis, because Jupiter really asks that right now. Jupiter is in your sixth house of health, wealth, job, daily routines. So the 12th house is like connected to water. Spiritual things done by the water are also very good. And 12th house is also about sacrificement. So sacrifices need to be made in your daily routines, because they impact your mental health in a negative way. It's like a very good time to wipe it out. So the sixth house is also your service towards others, pets, your job duties. Jupiter expands that. It's going to be like a very, very busy time for Capricorns, especially in the work area. Whenever you have Jupiter in the sixth or in the 10th house, you can like feel like you're drowning in work. So if you like have a big over expansion, Jupiter in your work area, sixth house, that's is going to leave like a strain on your subconscious and on your mental health. It's going to affect your sleep as well. Jupiter can like expand the stress levels in the sixth house until you like can't cope anymore. So if you have been feeling that, really time to dive deep, to make some adjustments, because Jupiter makes everything larger, it makes you bigger. Whenever you have it like in a money house, that is like awesome, but it's not that awesome when it's like in a house of stress, work, and health. So a lot of astrologers say whenever you have like Jupiter in the 6th house that this points towards like a good and a strong health. And I do agree that if you have it in the NATO chart, depending on the aspects that it made, but if you have been having health issues before Jupiter enters your 6th house, then this planet will like expand and increase them severely. So you need to look at Jupiter from different perspectives as well. And with this Mercury retro and this new moon in your 12th house, this could like really impact your subconscious right now. And with the Saturn square, it is your ruler, Saturn, so you will feel the Saturn square more intensely than other signs. And something that you're like reading, maybe in a book, maybe a message from your sibling, maybe on your website or on social media, maybe in your private messages, could feel like a burden or leave like some mark on your subconscious. You have heavy thoughts with Saturn in the 3rd house. Because the 3rd house rules your mind. So Saturn here can like result in heavy thinking or running away from your thoughts by working too much. So you don't have to like feel or dig deep. And this will like ultimately have like an impact on your subconscious. And if you're one of these people, Mercury retro here, there will be like no more escaping that. So, or maybe you like try to escape the world altogether because it's too much and decide to isolate because you feel a little bit down and alone, 12th house, isolate, and you start diving deeper into your subconscious in order to be able to like operate in your daily life again. Or you're like finally be able to deal with like some health issues. And if you deal with them, it will like decrease your daily stress levels. So you can like look at it from different perspectives. And like if you're feeling a bit stuck, be sure to like movement is good, because here you have like a very, very big mind, body, spirit asks your attention. 12th house is subconscious, spirit. 3rd house is mind. 6th house is body. So you have a T square in that house. So these really ask your attention right now. So any form of therapy, spiritual business, spiritual practice, maybe isolating yourself a little bit to take things through, take time to dive into the spiritual realm. This will prove to be very rewarding in the mind, body, spirit axis. So, and also some of you will have spiritual downloads and very vivid confirmations through dreams. So, good luck, my dear Capricorns. Then we have Aquarius. And first, I'm going to drink a bit. So, do we have an Aquarius here? Yes, Timothy, you are an Aquarius. So, you have a new moon in your 11th house. This is like your community, your social circle, your friend group, and I can see we have more Aquarius here. So, okay, that's fun. The 11th house is also like your goals, your wishes, and new seeds can be planted like in the social area of your life right now. So really set intentions around your social life. It can like come forward in a form of an invitation to a group gathering or becoming like a member of a group on social media, meeting like-minded souls as part of the 11th house. Join an organization or a movement, and social connections are going to be very, very enriching and expanding your wisdom during this new moon. So if you like join a new community, be sure or like keep an eye out that is like focused on expanding your wisdom. Or it can also be like related to travel, of course. So maybe you're gonna like enter some kind of travel community or a foreign community, and learn new big groups that are from another culture that will expand your vision. The 11th house is also networking. So communities or networking in communities that like focus on self-development, wisdom, gaining insight about the bigger picture. Or you could like gain more wisdom from your friends or by your friends or to your friends as well. And one certain friendship could like really prove to be of great guidance for you during this Mercury retrograde, because we do have this Mercury retro in the 11th house. So there can be some reviews, correction of mistakes regarding big gatherings, big groups, friends in general. And maybe one of your friends like introduces you to a network that is based on like-minded goals or related to, for example, humanitarianism, which is also part of the 11th house. And it's part of you, Aquarius, humanitarianism, like 11th house is your house, your traditional house. So this is like a biggie for you, Aquarius. This is like having a Mercury retrograde in your own traditional house is of big importance for you. Be careful and mindful about some miscommunications with friends, and you can like bump into old friends from the past. Maybe you have already noticed that, or old friends are coming back into your life, or like trying to reestablish their connection. So big new start and long-term goals, new connection, maybe in followers fall under the 11th house. But this moon is all about expanding, reviewing, rethinking your connections to others, and like expand networks and meet more open-minded people, or become more open-minded yourself because of your friends that you are close with. Friends can like really challenge your beliefs a little bit and change certain beliefs with this Mercury retro, but don't change your mind too quickly about some of your old friends, and also not about your new friends. So if some friends hurt you in the past and now they're coming back with this Mercury retrograde, be very discernment. Don't change your mind too quickly and think like, oh, they like gain insight about what they have done wrong. Mercury retrograde wants to wrap up like old mistakes, correct things, make things better, and maybe find some closure. But that doesn't necessarily mean you should like take them back in again, like nothing happened. Be a bit mindful to that, because we do have a square to Saturn, and that could even point towards loss of money or loss of self-esteem. So be careful about that. And then the ruler of this new moon is Jupiter, and it's placed in your 5th house. So there can be like an expansion in your dating life, or an expansion and going out, being creative, meeting new people, also using social media. That can also happen during this new moon, because the 11th house rules like invisible networks. You can also be more adventurous with your children with Jupiter in your 5th house, or like self-development can lead you towards meeting new people. If you like put yourself out there, you show them on stage, you can bump into them into some kind of group settings if you like want to expand your inner wisdom as well. So very good time to like use your creativity in groups, in your social networks, show your talents to your friends, to your audience, and it will like receive expansion. It will just take a little bit more time with the square to Saturn. And like by showcasing your creativity, you can like transform your 8th house of joint finances. Maybe something with money is gonna have to do with it as well. But old friends that appear back to you, because Mercury rules your 8th house of trauma. If you've been traumatized by old friends, they can like re-trigger that trauma. That's why I was saying that before, but I forgot to mention that as well. So, and if a friend owes you money, it can come back to you. Just don't lend friends your money right now because it will be gone. But a certain friend or group can like help you improve blocks around your income or blocks related to your self-worth and what you value that can like be changed up with this things happening in the 11th house. So you could gain like more insights and expand your wisdom by them helping you. So not a good time to like sit at home alone or hide. No, go out there, make contact with people online or in your friend group, and something will be transformed in that way. But be a bit mindful because with the square to Saturn, like if you join like a new community or join a group online, it could cost you money. You could lose money. That's something you need to be mindful about. But if you like invest in something or like want to invest in a group, then that is like really good because it will like be an investment into yourself as well. So depending on how you look at the situation. And for Aquarius people, it is very, very important, of the biggest importance actually, that you connect with like-minded people. And if that like costs a little bit of money, I think you will be willing to pay for that. But I know you have been having to budget a little bit lately with Saturn in the second house since March 2023. That could put a little bit of restraint on your income and on your money. But no, if you join groups and pay for that, that could be of help to you right now, although it will like take some time. Yeah, self-esteem can be a bit low with Saturn square to Mercury to the mind right now. And some can have like the feeling that they don't belong to a kind of group at the moment. And I also want to mention like to not let your self-worth hold you back from certain types of big groups or organizations. They could like really, really enhance your success after the retrograde is over. So don't let yourself, don't let you refrain yourself. That's what I wanted to mention. So good luck, my dear Aquarius. So the next one is Pisces. You have a new moon in your 10th house and also Mercury retrograde in your 10th house. But it's making a square to your sign because you have like rising or a sun or a moon in Pisces. So yeah, new moon in your 10th house. 10th house rules your career, your social standing, ambition, authority figures. So new seeds that are like being planted in your career right now, they could like blossom in 6 months from now. So maybe even there's a new start in your career or a new start in your ambition, in your reputation, or like a new area of work that is related to growth and expansion. Can be a little bit refrained by Saturn in the next couple of weeks with Mercury retrograde, but after that it can like start to expand again. You might need to wait a bit until people really like see you in the outside world if you like start something new in regards to your career right now. And if you have like some heavy dynamics at work going on with the Mercury retrograde now, it is like time to address them. Very important. You will not be like able to hide it anymore. And with Mercury retrograde, if you do make mistakes at work, they will be very visible. So be mindful about that. It could also like indicate some miscommunications with the boss, with people in authority, and projects implemented now need more time to get fully off the ground. And there can be like slow developments, but long-term results. And some Pisces might also feel like they like struggle with the feeling that their career is not progressing fast enough with the Mercury retro right now. And if a career feels too restrictive, I know that's like very hard on you, Pisces. So then you will need to make like adjustments in that during this retrograde. And with this new moon, this like gives you the possibility to do that. So that is actually good. It's good for you to like plant new seeds in that area right now. But there can be like miscommunication happening at work, and that can like affect your reputation a bit. So yeah, maybe you need to like clear out some issues with your boss or with people that you work together. And after the retrograde is over, you can witness like more growth and more expansion in that area. Or like you want to implement more adventure or more wisdom in your career as well. So yeah, now this new moon will give you like new shifts in how you look at your career, because you will gain like more wisdom about where you want to go in the future, and gain more wisdom about your long-term plans, how to like make them realistic and add them like in your reality right now. So yeah, very important, like implement more freedom in your reputation, in your career, and how you handle authority figures. And it's like good time to revisit work from the past. Some work projects could like re-enter or be revised or revisited with this new moon and this Mercury retro. So new attentions around career can be expansive in the future, and can be completed whenever we have the full moon in Sagittarius happening within 6 months. So yeah, just take your time and let it blossom and grow at its own pace. And some people will also like look at it, some Pisces will also be interested or get triggered with something business related to foreign countries or other cultures. So it's actually good to like dive deep into that. But wait with signing contracts, setting things up with foreign countries or other cultures, because with Mercury retrograde, you will need to like revisit and correct some mistakes, because we have this square to Saturn in your sign. So some might even bump into an old boss or an old someone from the past who had authority over you in the past, and things might get a bit challenging, or it will be some kind of test. So it's like maybe you need to like correct things in your reputation as well regarding to old bosses, or maybe that will unfold for you over the next couple of months. And even changing back to an old job is also possible. Although I do want to mention to like take your time and don't go too quickly. And it's like at the top of the chart, eh? So you will be like in the spotlight for some kind of reason. So let me know if that's been happening for you, or if that will happen with you over the next couple of weeks until the 15th of December. There can be like something happening which will like affect your reputation. And yeah, it can be very well work related. So I hope you like come in the spotlight or end up in the spotlight for a good reason, and otherwise the Mercury retrograde will correct and will make up for mistakes. So don't worry if it's a little bit challenging. Things will unfold slowly, but will be back okay. So yeah, the top of the chart is very visible for the world, so everything you change now will be very, very visible. And Mercury rules your 7th house of partnerships, so something changes your relation to the outside world, and it will be because of another person. It will not be you instigating that. It will be some other person, business partnership, spouse, close one-on-one relationship, 7th house. Or maybe a change, 10th house in your social status is going to be given to you by another person, 7th house. Or maybe some of the Pisces will even like start working together with their partner, 7th house. And these are now weeks where you can like rearrange your business 10th house together with your partner. That would be like a very, very good manifestation of this new moon, because in 6 months from now, that proved to be of very big worth to you. And I know with Saturn in your sign, Saturn has been like whooping your ass and like been really like stimulating you to take more responsibility, to really like up your level, or like really yeah, work very hard and be very responsible. So that would actually be a very, very good manifestation of this new moon. So if you want to work together with your partner, it is the perfect time. Mercury also rules your fourth, and the expositor of this new moon is happening in your, is transiting your fourth house. So Jupiter is actually your traditional ruler before we discovered Neptune. And we discovered Neptune under a Neptune-Saturn conjunction, and that's gonna happen, and it's gonna start happening from next year and years after. So maybe we're gonna like, yeah, really like invent. No, invent is not the right word. Maybe we'll like really know or get to know new planets, new spiritual things that get crystallized into reality. So I'm very, very curious about what will happen. But it's like Jupiter is in your fourth house. So whatever changes or whatever mistakes or communication or reviewing that's going to happen in your 10th house of career is going to totally affect the home life, your family, changes in career and the home, vice versa. They're going to be affecting each other immensely with Jupiter, and it will like create expansion in the home as well. So but with the square to Saturn, people in authority can be like wanting to like they can be more demanding to you, and they want to ask you to take even more responsibility. Maybe you need to like put up boundaries, because I know that's hard for Pisces, but if you're already burdened, be careful about taking on more responsibilities than you can handle during this time, because this over expansion can be like a little bit difficult to handle. So it can also make you like more serious about your long-term goals. And some jobs will prove to be like very, very burdensome. And maybe because of that, you will want to change your long-term goals as well. And yeah, if you do take the responsibility and really, really work hard, Saturn will give you his rewards, but you will have to give it a lot of time. So a lot of pressure in your home and in your career area, and with the square to your sun, moon, or rising, Saturn really asks you to like be committed, take responsibility, be determined right now. And it's all happening in angular houses, so change will come, but patience is required. So I hope that made sense for you, Pisces. So Timothy, yes, discover new planets. I'm really, really curious about that, because we will have the new Saturn-Neptune conjunction soon, in which we, yeah, it's so crazy, right? Because Neptune is like the unseen realm, things we cannot grasp, and Saturn is like making things palpable, feelable. It's like our structure, things we can feel, we can see, we can witness, and Neptune is the whole other side. It's like things we cannot see, the unseen realm, spirituality, and Saturn makes the unseen things visible. So we will have this conjunction coming up very soon. So I'm like very, very excited and very, very curious about which spiritual life forms will start to crystallize and become palpable under this transit, because I think it will be very, very interesting. So thank you all very, very much for being here with me tonight. And my next video will be about Mars going retrograde, and that will be a very, very important happening. And I'm gonna highlight, of course, every sign and every house that it's ruled, and in which house that it happens, and how it will like impact you and impact the whole collective. I will like look at certain countries that I will that are going to be like impacted by the Mars retrograde. And if you live in a specific country and you would want me to like look at how this Mars retrograde is going to affect your personal country, just like drop it in the comments down below, and I will look then at your country, because I know some people are feeling a bit tense about everything that is happening in the world. And I will say that the next 6 months there will be a period of more chaos, about more aggression. We will be more subjected of aggression as well. If we can like keep calm and keep our warrior spirit in a very healthy and grounded way, we can be like really defensive and like really defend the things we're emotionally attached to. But it's maybe not the best time to now go on the attack and start some conflicts with people. I think it is very, very important that we are very kind, very loving towards each other, and that we unite and bundle our forces, Mars, and really like help each other out, because the next few weeks and months it will be very, very visible about who's your real friend, who has your back, and who is going to be next to you fighting along your side. And I hope that people really take care of each other and help each other out. So thank you all so much for being here, and thank you so much, Maria. I'll see you next time, sending lots and lots of love to each and every one of you, and I wish you a good morning, day, or evening, depending on where you are in the world. So thank you so much. Bye bye.